Welcome everybody to another episode of Team Sessa Talks. I am Daniel Sessa, joined here with my dad, Santo Sessa.
Excited to be here.
We're excited to be here, and as you know, on Sundays, normally we answer your questions, and that's what we're gonna do here today. So let's get started, let's get right into it. From Robert Guay 3773, and Robert says, it used to take 3 months to sell a house, now it's less than a week. What do you think? Look at the days on market. I don't think it's been under a week for a while.
But I don't get the premise of the question. Yeah, it used to take a long time, depending on which market you're referring back to. Sometimes in the past, there were times where it took 3 months and 6 months to sell a house. These days, it could take a day, it could take a month. It could be day zero, the same day the house gets listed. I don't get it. So it's true. Your houses are selling much quicker today than certain times in the past. So I don't get the question, but appreciate your comments.
Lifer996 says, hey Santo, when you report, thank you for saying Santo.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
When you report percentage of units sold at or above asking price, do you screen out all the lowball asking prices used to stoke bidding wars? Almost 100% of these listings will be sold over asking. If not, I think your number overstates the actual percentage.
No, it doesn't state the actual percentage, because the actual percentage of sold at list price or more is accurate. It's just that. Now he's trying to filter out the ones where the pricing strategy was low on purpose. Like if somebody puts a price of a dollar, for sure it's going to be selling over asking, right? How do I filter that out unless I did a market evaluation for every single property, figured out what the actual market value should be, and then monitor if that sells over? Impossible. I ain't gonna do that for every property, but it's a general percentage. It does have its flaws. It's not without flaws, but if you just look at that percentage, if we're talking in generalities, if that percentage is increasing, you can expect a more competitive market. If that percentage is decreasing, fewer and fewer properties are selling at list price or more, it doesn't matter if sellers are pricing low on purpose. If fewer sellers are doing that, then that percentage tends to drop. It kind of tells you the confidence level of the market, kind of tells you the confidence level of listing agents and or their sellers pricing a property low to get the bidding war. Because in a bad market, you price it low, sure, there's always going to be some competition, but it's not like when the prices are going up and you do this. So depending on what the percentage number is it going up, is it going down, we'll tell you the confidence level. It doesn't matter if people are pricing it lower on purpose.
Yeah, so that's the whole point, is that figure there is just to give the confidence level in the market.
It's a gauge,
right?
It's a gauge. Again, not without its faults, but it's a gauge.
Okay, and this question comes from Rack ZYK. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that
Rack
right.
ZYK.
But they ask, how much money, and this is a comment that we get sometimes, it's pretty often actually, how much money does your channel make on YouTube per month?
Ooh, millions. Millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Our YouTube channel. You know, when we started doing this, wasn't about whatever money YouTube was going to pay us. We never even thought we'd get to those kind of numbers. Now that YouTube is actually paying us, it's still not about that because we barely get anything from that. And it definitely doesn't cover the kind of equipment we use to record all this. So what does the channel pay us? I don't even pay attention.
The YouTube channel makes on average, I'd say about $500 to $800 a month.
So $500, $800 a month. That's what YouTube pays us to advertise to you guys, basically.
Yeah. Hoser584.
Hoser.
This is a good question. If we made realtors and mortgage brokers take a lie detector test on whether they have lied or done anything illegal to get a deal done, would any pass?
I'm afraid to comment. I don't want to be, caught in one of these things. I could tell you, I could speak for us.
Yeah.
We go to sleep feeling good about everything that we're doing. You know, some of these guys that maybe are, you know, a little crooked, they might go to sleep too feeling good about what they're doing. I don't know, but it'd be really interesting. I'd like to see the stats on that. We'll make a chart of how many realtors they're catching or mortgage brokers. But,
that'd be interesting.
you know, all joking aside, there's some great realtors out there that are really make the difference in the transaction. And there are great mortgage brokers that could really help the client, that'll really make the difference. It's not about that one sale or the one transaction. It's more about their reputation and growing a business. So, but I like your idea of the lie detector tech.
That would be interesting.
That would be fun.
That would make a good reality TV show, I feel.
Oh, imagine that.
Right?
Imagine that.
Okay, so Reality 1984, they commented, a home that has been on the market, did not sell, then put back on sale, is not a new listing. It's a relisting and should be advertised as such. What do you think about that?
Reality is hitting us with reality.
I think because you mentioned that in the in your one of your videos that
on one of our own properties,
listings,
we changed the price. We relisted, so we got a new listing. So, you know, we're gonna get technical here if we're gonna, you know, split hairs. According to the MLS, if you cancel one listing and put up a new listing, it's a new listing. But is the property now the property is still for sale? So there's days on market, there's property days on market is not the same thing as days on market. New listing, it's a new listing to the MLS. It's a strategy that we use to, you know, for people that have search criteria set up. If you do not put, you know, cancel one listing and put up a new listing, it doesn't shoot out the listing to all the inboxes again. If you just say change the price or change a few words. So that's why we do it. It's a strategy. It helps the seller. This is something that the listing agent will do. We do it. It's perfectly within our rules, okay to do. If you feel that it should not be called a new listing, I can see your angle, why you would say that. Doesn't matter though. People are still doing it, and it doesn't. It doesn't really change anything. And now with software that everybody's got access to, my clients will tell me before I even had a chance to look it up yet, well, this property's been on the market, you know, 3 different times, 3 different prices. Everybody knows what's going on out there. So, new listing or not, what does it matter?
We have one comment here from a friend of ours, actually. He's become a friend. He was a client, a friend of ours, from Mark Davlichin. And he says, I guess time for my testimonial. Prior to having Santo represent me, I applied to another agent who is well known. An estimate that I received from that agent was $450,000 to $480,000. I got suspicious as similar units were selling around $500,000 range, so I decided to reach out to Santo. Santo's estimate was $475,000 to $525,000, which was more in line with my estimate. I was selling identical units one by one, so I needed to make sure I get the best possible deal, as I would essentially be competing with myself. With Santo's team, stager, photographer, his son Daniel, we were able to sell both units even higher than the upper price range. If I did not choose Santo, I would have lost $100,000 to $150,000.
Mark, that's awesome. It was amazing working with you. Naturally, we didn't know that he's interviewing other agents. We get a phone call. He follows us on YouTube. Phone call saying, I have a unit to sell. Will you, give me a price and talk to me about how you would sell it? So that's what we did. Did our research, met up at his unit, gave him a price, and then, a day or two later said, okay, I want to go with you, not knowing that he had spoken to other realtors, although lots of people do. So we just gave him what we thought based on our data, and our data turned out to be accurate. We actually outperformed what the numbers that we thought. And it's not everybody that has 2 identical units in one building. And so naturally, it's true what he said. He'd be competing with himself. If he undersold one, absolutely, he's going to undersell the other one because it's the exact same unit on a different floor. Well, we sold the one And we put that on the market, sold that. Then after that deal was done, then we sold the other one fairly quickly after that. And it turns out he had a third.
Yeah.
You know, his whole plan was to consolidate his condos and then, sell them and then buy a freehold property. And he's loving life now in his freehold home. And Mark has been awesome to work with. And, thank you for the comments. Really nice, Mark. Thank you.
So our friend D. Trent.
Mr. Trent.
Mr. Trent says real estate is a dead duck. Those stats.
He's being nice because he normally has a lot more choice words than just calling it a dead duck.
Those stats are cooked up good. Those stats are cooked up real good by Treb.
Okay, Treb very much leans in favor of wanting more and more sales, in favor of real estate agents, in favor of, now's a good time to buy, now's a good time to sell. Yeah, Treb will lean that way. Mortgage brokers will lean that way. Realtors will tend to lean that way. That's why on this show we try to just keep it to this is what's happening right now, and
the stats are the stats, right?
The stats are the stats,
the
but
numbers are the numbers.
How you interpret the stats can many times show whether you're leaning one way or another.
Yeah.
And some organizations will tend to always lean one way versus the other.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we have a comment from Mike Dennington. Mike said, that happened to me in Vancouver a few years ago. The agent had a condo 2 floors below me and priced mine higher so he could sell this condo by making a comparison. After his sale, he told me he recommended lowering my price. I told him to get lost and appointed another agent.
Good for you. His name was Mike? Mike, good for you that you did that. And I don't disagree that it didn't happen to you. It probably did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, these things happen and you need to be aware and alert all the time.
Yeah. We have a nice comment here from @MetalSlug. And they say, I must say, subscribing to your channel was the best thing. I learned so much about the Toronto real estate.
Is everybody paying attention to that?
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
That was it. That's the comment.
Thank
I
you.
thought I'd throw in a nice one.
Thank you. Feel free to comment every single show.
Yeah, it'd be nice to read one of those comments every video. So that ends our show for today. Thank you guys for all your comments. Your comments is what we use to actually have content for this show. So feel free, leave your comments down below. Leave them in the Market Reports videos. We actually go through all the comments. And if we find some that we feel would make for good discussion, then we put them on this show here. So,
well, some of these comments warrant more of a discussion instead of a quick, simple response.
Hard to respond to all of them, but there are some really, really great comments. So feel free to leave them into the comment section of our videos. And that's it for today. We'll see you guys next week.
Enjoy your weekend. So what do you want me to do?
I think just no props.
Okay, we got it.
No shirts either.
Skins.
Oh man.
Okay, go.